Hello my friends, welcome to episode 2 of the Nano Reef tank. In the last video, I'd gone through the equipment with you as well as my thoughts and my plans for this tank. And now that we have the tank set up with water, in this video we're going to take a look at the coral that are going into this tank. So stay tuned and let's go. So thankfully, I'm not going to have to go out and buy coral for this nano tank. I've got a frag tank that's full of LPS coral. And a lot of the coral I've been collecting over the last 4 years have been inspired by the coral I've seen in this Reef Builders video about Mike's nano tank. So the first coral that's definitely going to this tank is the jack-o'-lantern lepto. Now a while back, I did set up a small rock with some jack-o'-lantern frags on it with the hopes that it was going to go into my display tank behind me. Unfortunately, those plans didn't pan out. However, I do have this nano tank now, and this is going to be one of the centerpieces in this tank. For those of you that aren't familiar with the jack-o'-lantern lepto, it is a metallic orange color with yellow and green mouths. Next, drawing inspiration from Mr. Michael Rice, we have to include Acans into this tank. Now fortunately, I do have a lot of Acans. Basically every color of the rainbow I have in Acans. So what better LPS to put into this tank but a bunch of different colored Acans so that we get that nice rainbow, and they're going to take up at least one island. I have been playing with the idea of potentially making this a more species-specific tank, in which case I could potentially have a lot more lords in this tank. However, for now, we're just going to do one island, and we'll see how things go in the future. After the Acans, the next most prominent LPS coral that's in Mike's tank are chalices. So I do have a pretty good collection of chalices. Unfortunately, my pink boobies chalice is not doing very well. And my only concern with the chalices is this is a short tank. It's only 1 foot tall, and I'm using really flat rock. So one of the issues with the chalices is the way they grow. They're kind of two-dimensional. And they can be relatively flat. Without having the tank height and an aquascape that adds a lot of layers, I'm afraid the chalices are going to be a bit too flat for at least this scape. But nevertheless, we are going to add them, and I'm going to take a few weeks just to see how they settle into the tank and see how I feel after a few weeks, whether they need to be changed. The last coral we're going to add in this episode are the Euphyllia. So I do have a small collection of different types of Euphyllia, both frog spawn and hammers. In this case, because I'm not planning to be removing too much coral from this nano tank, I want to let things really grow in. I'm going to stay away from the branching types, because typically with the branching types, I'm probably going to want to frag them. So instead, I'm going to put all my Walheimers into this tank. Now that we have a general idea of the coral I want to initially place into this tank, I'm going to go ahead and take the coral out of the frag tank. I'm going to dip them in this Polyp Lab Reef Primer and this Expel Coral Cleaner. And you may be wondering why I'm going to dip them, especially since I already own these coral. And I do have some pests that are in the reef system, and mainly this red Planera flatworm. And if possible, I would like to prevent them from getting into the nano system. For this next section, sit back and relax. I'm going to put on some music and I'm going to place these coral into the tank. Alright my friends, thank you for watching episode 2 of my nano tank journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, as that would really help the channel out as well. Other than that, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you on the next video.